comrades. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Sierra Leone. Today is the 6th of August, 2023. Time now it's 7 o'clock. And this evening, we're going to talk about the increased economic pressure due to the SLPP self-imposed precedent. So we know what the situation is in our country. We know what is happening. And we are sure that everybody, it doesn't matter your political affiliation or your political settings, we're all suffering from this economic issues that our country is going through at this minute. So this evening we're gonna have two guests. One is Ibrahim A. Kamara, Escort Liga for the Southern region, and the second guest will be Mr. Abubakar Kroma, aka Abu Boliyai, the president of the APC Washington chapter. But before I introduce my guest, I just want you guys to see, and I'll ask the technical team, hopefully, to play us one of the videos of situations that are happening. So at least you guys have a heads up. So when we're talking about things that are happening in the country, you're all aware and you say, well, I've seen this and it's true. This is what's happening. When it comes to the APC, we always bring you things that we know are authentic. We don't use propaganda. Everything we do here are always on point, and they are supposed to be what we think, because we don't want to lie to people and we don't want people to lie to us. So we're bringing you the fact from the APC online TV platform. So definitely, I want to say good evening, and I'll be grateful if the technical team will be able to play us one of these videos that we have to share it with you. And I think those one that we're going to play is from Dr. Kefara Mara. I'm sure some of us have seen it, but not everybody. So we just want to bring it forward so that we know exactly our economic situation in the country. Thank you so much, and God bless.
We put in place measures.
Mining was booming then.
Yes, but when mining closed down, don't forget, when mining closed down and both companies shut down operations. So what happens? It affected the economy, plummeted. But we held on the reins. You are aware teachers sat home for 2 years without work. We paid them. It was during my tenure that we paid the highest minimum wage. It was about 480,000 leones then, equivalent to $100. We paid people well. We even started paying paramount chiefs under the leadership of President Nkrumah. We paid NA clerks. We paid teachers very well. We increased salaries for the police, the military, prison officers, you name them. And we put in place structures and strategies that will ensure that the economy did well. And indeed, it performed well. Question is, can you really compare as to how the economy was performing to how it is right now? No. People are clamoring. They want to go back to the days of the APC. But don't forget,
it was the same economy that the government announced austerity measures.
Yes.
It was the same economy that the president said. Things are going bad. Exchange rates went high as well.
Never ever.
No, that same economy. There was a message sent then by the president that people should start trading in local currency. The leones was depreciating as well.
No, you must understand this. We are not on hot seat. You want to listen to me?
You go ahead.
Good. Now listen. When the economy was under my leadership, they did not perform. It performed well. We did well. Exchange rate by the time we left was around 7,000 to the dollar. Today it has nearly tripled. They can't be the same story. If you take a look at the 2015 Global Open Budget Survey, under my leadership as Minister of Finance, Sierra Leone scored above the global average. That was under my leadership. I should be commended for that. And I put in place systems that help this economy to do well. Regardless of the boom that we are experiencing, we put in place structures that will help us well. And don't forget, if you fail to get the fundamentals right, things will slip through your fingers. And I did hold the rein then of the economy. Don't forget, I'm just reminding you.
Doc, I understand your point.
No,
Marina will come with a question. I just want to clarify the point I'm making. I'm not comparing the economy. As much as you're saying, you held the rail, things were fine. But do you also agree that it was under the system you were part of that an austerity measure was announced, the economy went bad, and the government announced it and came to the people and spoke to them? Do you also want to take responsibility of that?
You just answered the question. You said the government came out and spoke to the people and explained to the people where the economy was. You mentioned that the two major mining companies shut down operations, and that was complemented negatively by Ebola. And don't forget, it was the worst challenge that this country had ever faced after the civil conflict in terms of economic turbulence, correct? We held the rein then. It was a sincere government. We were open. We told people this was the issue. You know what? We made quote on overseas travel. I started traveling, I think, on economy. Some ministers did. Someone will say it didn't work, but it happened then. We faced reality. We told people, look, you cannot travel, you cannot attend all conferences out there. Get the ambassadors to represent you. We told people in government that the reality is you cannot host seminars in hotels, host them in your buildings. It worked well. That is responsible governance. It is a government that will come out and say this is the issue. But the reality is we held the rein. I give you an example. So what happened with fuel prices? Did we not hold on the fort? Did it not serve you? Is it the same today? No, it's not the same. So it's responsible government will face reality. It wasn't a problem that we created ourselves. It was inflicted on us by Ebola. But trust me, the way we managed Ebola isn't the same as Corona is being handled today. You're aware of that. Viewers, will attest to that. So the reality is, if I held in the economy and it performed very well, and we paid individuals very well, we looked after young people, we established women and youth empowerment fund, we established skills development fund. We even decided to ensure that at the end of the day that the economy did well, that we decided to even float bonds to be able to do electricity. President Nkrumah rolled out the biggest electricity program ever witnessed in this economy. We did massive road project, massive energy project. In the midst of all of those challenges, we should be commended. Bottom line is, we left the economy, the exchange rate, at about 7,000. Today it's nearly 20,000 to the US dollars. Commend us and say thanks. Now, if I should pretend that the economy then, and it was about the highest growing, fastest growing amongst others in the world under my watch, and most importantly, when the 2015 global budget.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we can see that was the voice of our former finance minister, Dr. Faramara. He did mention on, yes, there was hostility, but again, based on his kind of education and the way he put the people before himself. And also we saw where they both mentioned about the former president, His Excellency Dr. Anis Nkrumah, that he called on to the people and say, yes, there have been an issue, but yes, my government and myself are ready to address this issue. Again, this is when the government have the people at heart. But when we see it comes to the SLPP, they don't care about the people. They only care about themselves. He even gave us an instance where he says, I travel on economy. I want you guys to tell me one of these administration from the SLPP has travel and economy. It's not possible. It's not possible. But again, I think we have one of the guests in, which is Abubakar Kroma. That's the president of the Washington chapter. Definitely. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the program. And this is the APC Online TV Diaspora platform. Thank you so much, and good evening.
Good evening, APC Online Diaspora TV. Me, like you say, Mina Abubakar Kuruma, commonly called Abu Boryai. I'm the president of the APC Washington Metropolitan Chapter. I'm very happy to be here today, and we'll give you inside of this dialogue. and I'm happy that you bring me on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kroma. And I'm sure you listened to our former finance minister, Dr. Kefara Mara. Do you have anything to say regarding what the economy was under the APC and that of the former minister as well, which was JJ Safar under the SLPP? Can you compare the two and let us know definitely what have been your take on that?
Yeah. First of all, Dr. Mara was very clear. I mean, he made clear points, salient points, and we can compare and contrast from beginning to the end, and we can point the differences. It was very clear. The economy then is way better than the economy now.
Can you do
Because,
it in Creole, please, sir? Can you give us the analysis in Creole, please? Sorry.
well, okay, in Creole,
Yes.
it make them very clear, right? And in the first place, it said they put structures in place, which is one key thing. If you're not prepared for run the economy, you're not going to get them going. The first step is to put the structures in place, which you don't explain it and do. And the second thing, even when the economy didn't go bad at that time, at some point, they were very plain to come out and explain to the people and tell them, okay, because of this factor, we are getting a threat down, you know. And the other thing is, they even cut traveling expenses. They tell the ministers not to travel and to hold conferences in the local offices rather than going overseas all the time where now under the government in budget. All them things in the with the CM in this government currently, they are getting worse. This government don't travel than any other government in Sierra Leone in the past. Then even when we been get Ebola with all them challenges, the time we say we've been pay salaries, even when the economy not been a move, we pay salaries. It's a baseline at least $100, will be equivalent to 400,000, something like that. We measure. They may pay salaries. But look at now, even when there's nothing where they block the economy, salaries are not being paid in certain sectors. We don't see demonstration after demonstration. Even, let's take an example now. Even the ECSL, people all work for this default election. They're not even paying them up to now. And then they hire them service and give them service. They're not paid. Then you compare the fuel at that time. The government at that time do some subsidy, they maintain and they uphold, and they know say it's a commanding commodity where they help for jack up prices. Compare it at 6,000 euros by then, so 21,500 now. This is within 5 years.
25.
Oh,
It's
there
25,000.
you go. Now it's 25,000. Compare it for people that did economics as their major and can do the calculation and do the increase by year. Enough for one each, this state rate on each. I don't think the government care enough. Compare a bag of rice by then to a bag of rice now.
Yeah,
And
and I think when you're comparing those two, I think we also needs to bear in mind that that happened under 10 years under the APC, and the prices have gone so high rocketed in 5 years. So in fact, even comparing it, it's like it's one of the worst thing we can do, because for APC it was 10 years for prices to go that far. Under this administration is 5 years, and I think a bag of rice right now is around 850 or so. Somebody was saying chili pepper, it's about 19,000. Salt, things have just gone up. Maggie before you get maybe three for 2,000, now is one for 3,000. Just one cube. When also you look at the government listening to the people, we've seen where They told us, oh, when they come into governance, 6 months, the bread and butter issue will be sorted out. It hasn't been. We also had where Dr. Marab mentioned says 2 years teachers were not working, but we still pay them. And these ones under those 5 years, they are working and still haven't been paid. They were not working, they were being paid. They are working now, but they are not being paid. He was mentioning where they says they were paying police officers about $100.
Yeah.
At this stage, it has been reduced. It didn't go
Sure.
up, it's reduced.
Sure.
Again, everything within this administration, and they'll be the ones to say, oh, human capital development. I don't know what they understand from the word, but they don't know the reason, or they don't know what it really means. That's why you see all of them are doctors. But it looks like they went through the book. The book did not go through them. So they just look at it and then they move and then they give them qualifications. But again, that's something that we need to put out for the educational team to come and then tell us how somebody that can tell us they are doctors and still are not able to use a common sense, which is where we've seen this administration has failed us. It has failed the people of Sierra Leone, because you come into governance, there was another administration, you work with them, learn from them, and then you are able to stand. The first day they came into governance, the next day everybody was laid off. They don't even know where their left and the right are. They don't know where the pens and the barrels are. Nothing. So this is why nothing has worked. Because if it's people that have worked within the administration or within the government you are working with, definitely they will tell you, no, this is how we used to do it and this is how you should do it. And again, we've seen the last 5 years where their finance minister have not done anything good for the country. Because we have heard, and people have said it, for the past maybe 30 or 40 years, we have always seen where the president in waiting, who is Dr. Samara Martin Wilson Kamara, has always worked with the economy. So we've seen how it has moved. Even when there is issue, he always bring it forward to make sure that, yes, this is stable. They never work with him, and we see where we are. All of a sudden now they want to work with him. It's too late. You can't steal an election and expect somebody to move forward. So I don't know what you want to say, Prezo, on that.
Oh, you don't lay them out clearly, and there's nothing somebody can take away from that. And to add to it is, nothing improved since when they take governance on the economy. In fact, all other areas deteriorate instead of improving. And when they were campaigning, then campaign on the premise that they will make the economy better. If you remember, during the campaign 2018, when they pulled and sing, say, Solomon no go angry Boku. You know, now people want Solomon for come push the anger out. You know, there's nothing. You go back at the finance minister or the bank governor. When they don't fuel the economy, they say, oh, they bring new money for you dominate. Look at that mess. They bribe money for print money, and what's the value of that money they bring at the economy? Zero. In fact, it makes the hardship worse. Any economy will not produce job, not they grow. And they cannot produce a single job. In fact, there were more jobs under the APC compared to now. Even in areas they wouldn't try for create them fake job, like creating more ministries or more ambassadorial, there is no returns. And just create them for compensate people who campaign for them. The country is not getting any returns. Even with the president, we don't travel so much. Now we'll go back and ask the president, what you don't bring camp from where they go? Some people come in our village, if they send them picking them after farming for camp freedom, when they begin, they go back and they can something at least for go help for sustain the village. But in this case, there's nothing. At one point, they say they will bring bread factory. We see the president go, somewhere in Nigeria, the old Tapalapa, they said they will bring bread come. Up till now, we're waiting for the bread. It's been 5 years. We don't see them. There's nothing. With all its traveling, they will ask the president, what he bring come? We're variable for Sierra Leoneans. And so another point to say, oh, we'll go build the reputation of the government out there. Now, compare then and now. You don't go down with reputation. Up to this election, we don't make the international community say don't frown at we. We're not doing our reputation and stage where we get before. So the economy is going down. When APC been there, we do a lot of infrastructures. We build roads, they say, oh, not Chinese roads. And when they come, they rate the Chinese small, but they are not even producing. They say toll road, they will close them. Now, and it sustain, it survive through the toll road. There is no improvement. The country is just going down, it's trading down. Look at what happened recently. The Abacha traders. Those are the people where they maintain small balance of the freedom economy. Because when there is trading going on, buying and selling, you must get some economic gain into that. Abacha Street is just 1 mile, less than 1 mile. But anytime when you get political downturn, you go, you broke the people and table, you harass them, you pressure them for pulling commodity.
Yeah,
That's 1 mile.
Abubale, one of the things that they always say is the traders do not support them. So for them, as far as you don't support SLPP, nothing will happen good to you. That's just what it is. You know, you were mentioning about the finance minister. No, the bank governor. Which he says it was going to denominate the money so that we can have a brand new currency. But now, I think this is almost a year and plus, we have two currency in our country. We have two currency in our country as we speak. And at the end of the day, when you look at things like, there is no improvement. Absolutely not. There is no improvement. Because you mentioned of somebody coming from the provinces to come and maybe enhance themselves to go back. I don't know if the technical team looked at this or the viewers. A few days ago, one of a citizen of Freetown was also showing a video of a little boy. This boy is from the south, and the brother brought him to Freetown and abandoned the boy. So the boy, they're like, he can't even speak Creole. So they asked, he says, I don't want to lie. My brother brought me here. The clothes I was wearing was all torn. Somebody, in fact, just took out those clothes and gave it to me. He was wearing pauper on him. Just a top. The boy did not even have nothing much, and it was raining. The man is like, I have kids, and I saw a child under the rain outside my doorstep. So he was left with no option than to video the boy so that maybe somebody that knows that boy will come forward and say, please, where is our son? Or where is this boy? And the boy is from the south. He was speaking, said, I don't want to lie. My brother brought me here, and I don't know where he is. That's all they are doing. Bring people to the city and just abandon them. And I think that's just how the city works. And before we have the issues where they are behind the mayor, that, oh, the city was filthy. Now it's not filthy. It's, I don't know the word to use, but it's beyond filth at this point. That's how much it is. But again, I think, I don't know if you heard about an issue where an helicopter had to do an emergency stop in Waterloo. So I think if the technical team are on board, please, can you help us with that particular video and pictures so that we are able to show to our viewers, and then we see which way we're going to go. Oh, thank you so much, Lami. I think Lami watches like it was.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The police in Waterloo, led by the LUC CSP Mr. Ibrahim Sama, today, Saturday, August the 5th, 2023, received distress calls that helicopter land emergency one, now one village they call Shewure, along the Fubo road. So the LUC began for lead a team as soon as they see so many police officers them na the field. Then come, they don't already rescue the crew members them. This na the helicopter as soon as they see. Na the helicopter this way make the emergency landing na the field. The place now something like 15 miles away from central Waterloo. According to the crew members them, they say they get a mechanical failure due to the rotor or so. So the crew members in the list, the one a British citizen, the other one in the one the under where they move go so in a South African citizen. So where the police don't respond, we they try now for take them things them so that we will able for help them for letting things that will be safe. We will take the things them. They will provide security for the helicopter until the team way for come help for fix the helicopter. Come you see the LUC now Waterloo CSP Ibrahim. They talk already one engineer don't come we himself. They then at the scene. They see lots of people like a big area. They see the water yonder. See, complete forest, no houses around, no houses. Just come make this emergency landing. Come where everything's safe. We the police are there soon. Everybody's fine. One for the crew in the yonder, so police officers are all over the place. For now, this is the updates. Thank you so much. Mina ASP Aliu Jalo from Waterloo.
So thank you so much to the team for this. They said so many people. I think those ones we can literally count them with our eyes, not even going to the fingers. You can count how many people were standing there, the community people, and also the police that were on site. But again, it's an LUC telling us there are thousands and hundreds of police officers there. And based on this particular landing, we had a press release from the Madabio government. But again, there is no press release to tell people food prices have gone up, which is very paramount to the people of Sierra Leone. So again, we don't know where we're going to go. What is important, they will leave you, and what is not important, that's what they will talk about. So I don't know. And the Washington chapter, please let me know, President, what's happening? Why are they doing this? What's going on? It's a bit like, what is your priority? What's important? What's not important?
So many priorities. First of all, we get so many unanswered questions concerning this helicopter. And like we say, we hope that the facts will come out. Because in the first place, me go and ask, who owns this helicopter? Which are the helicopter being commode? Then why Nyanda choose for land on emergency? And how long the police take for respond? Because 15 miles from Waterloo to the place, how long they take for respond? Then, what are the rescue gears that they took there? Because we just see the policeman in Sinap, all gone. We don't see nobody with a medical kit or a fire kit. What is going on? Would I give this helicopter license? You get British citizen and a South African citizen on board. What do they do here? We saw them come out. We saw them attached to. These are all unanswered questions. What is going on? The government need to come out and explain to it. Did anybody take responsibility of the helicopter there? Or who are the engineers? Almost helicopter engineers that we get in Sierra Leone. We could not reach at the scene at a fast pace like that. These are all unanswered questions. But we know this government, they can create things for divert people's attention. Like you say, they do press release on helicopter. You look at the helicopter, if you see the rotting next by the helicopter. And it a priority? No. Today, as we are speaking, we young youth them, we young man them, now we future leaders that we therefore give this economy sustenance years to come. In the day of push, that should have been an emergency. There's push all over the place. People just give up and not get any hope again. The result to take push. Like I'm speaking, the community tell me come out. There's a video where somebody died of push yesterday. I can tell from Akisi.
Yeah, I think
Where
it's
the young,
right?
yes, the young men they don't declare war against Kush. It should be the government to declare war against Kush.
But the government is selling the kush. How can they declare war
That's
against?
what I'm saying. I don't want to say it that way. But
No, but that's what it is. That's
yeah,
what it is. It's a fact. Julde
you know,
Jallo is in charge of Kush. So you don't expect Julde Jallo, who is the second in command, or should I say the third in command, because after Madabio is the chicken and then Julde will come. So you expect them where they're making money to put. It's not possible. We all know it's theirs. We all know where the Kush is coming. So for me, again, as you said, this was supposed to be done by the government. And I think the government are the people. So the people of Cassette Town, which I want to say thank you so much to them, they've taken it upon themselves. Anybody they saw you selling, using, sharing, playing, they will deal with you. So
yes.
I'm sure if that continue, people will say, I ain't going there because my life is going to be in danger. And very soon you will come and see one of these hierarchy says it has pleased the president to say don't touch anybody with kush. You'll be surprised to see a press release from that right now telling people don't touch them with kush because where they're making money. And I saw people coming on social media laying curses. I said, well, that finally our country is gone because the people that are there, the bunch of lunatics that are there, the bunch of nook and poop that are there, are in charge of the kush. So if you're laying a curse on them, so the country is just going to go back to west. There's nothing. There is nothing. People say, let's pray for the country. We pray for the leaders because they are not supposed to be there. If they are out of it, our country itself as a whole is blessed.
Yep.
Bad leaders that are cursed. So because of it's affecting all of us. That is a simple answer to our problem in the country. If Mother Bia is not there, the right person is there, who is Dr. Samura. We know the level of how our economy will be. Now we have a different finance minister who we don't know if he knows the left from the right, if he knows the new note or the old notes, how it is and what will happen. Because when you know what you are doing, then you'll be able to make a fact or you'll be able to do the right thing. But if you don't, they've just chuck you there. You just sit there and says, whatever they tell you, you do it. As we were told, Connor was under gunpoint to do what he did. So you are under gunpoint, sit there, just do this, which is what we have. So at the end of the day, with the kush, if we had Jewel there behind bars, then we will know that kush will be just scarce in our country. That's as simple as ABC. We don't need to hide it. That's what it is. That's the fact.
Yeah. And let me tell you again. We people like ourselves, I was born in that community, right? We know how much we don't destroy we young man them, right? And it's a very small community like Kitsi, the tip edge of the huge side of Kitsi, right? And we make it very clear, and I'm going to support that initiative. We don't already declare war against Kush, and I'm going to support it. In our rally, we individuals of Castle Farm, within the diaspora, that we support that initiative, right? And we'll take the fight to the broader Kisi area. You know, like you said, I'm not going to name that this person is responsible. I'm going to blame it on the government itself.
He's
right?
part of the government, Abu Bolyai.
I blame the entire government, even with the police. The police, they may see the Kush people out. People that in the street sounds and in the sleep. All you have to do, arrest these people, pressure them and go so that they sell them. It's a chain thing. From the first the petite trader, the must get the wholesale, you trace the roots, and you close it. But they are not doing it. They are not doing nothing about it. When election will come, they bring this polo and say talk and do BN. Almost container. Then give all man, whether you support SLPP or not, as long as they give 60,000 one polo, you wear them, you dance for them. And what we are seeing now, most of the people they already snap with the push, they wear this talk and do polo. The election don't done, they don't abandon the people, they don't care for them in the first place. Some people never care for the people of Sierra Leone. You know, so most of them push people, you will see them where they talk and do, it's in absence and then they sleep. So it's so terrible. It's so terrible. Now, we come to the economy again. You know,
go to the economy, quick one, just on this push and the police. Okay. I was in a town, because I don't want to call it, because before they go and arrest the LUC, I was in a town. Jude that came with his convoy with kush, you can see, with weapon, intimidating APCs. We were standing, our hands were crushed. They started violence. So at the end of the day, one thing I was like, we need to respond to this violence. We did. They run away. He ran away with his team. No problem. We went to the police station to report. One thing the LUC said, where Judah is, who the heck am I to go and say what he's doing is wrong? You want me to lose my job? Are you crazy? That was the exact word of the man. He says, listen, I'm sorry, but I cannot do my job, not on that level. So there are one rules for one person and there is another rule for another person. So that's how it is. People like me, I'm always behind camera. So I will say it because that's what it is. And if they want the proof, I can provide it. I have it on record. But again, the police will not come forward and say, because that man will lose his job the next minute. It's as simple as ABC. We saw a lecturer in uni that says the truth the next minute. Remember, this is a man that is working for free. So as far as he was concerned, you have nothing against me. You can't do me nothing because you are not paying my bills. Because he spoke the truth, they'll ask him to leave. He said, I will leave, but I've said the truth. And he went back to the state. So you can say the truth when they don't have nothing on that. So at the end of the day, the police, their hands are tied. They are tied. So let's go on the economy, because when it comes to push, it's them.
I mean, let me just pick it from what you just don't say. We all know intimidation has been the order of the day with this government. They not get anything substantial when they do it's good for the people of Sierra Leone. But whenever you call them out, then that intimidation, they are good at it. And that is what they have been doing all these 5 years. Now take the example of the Auditor General, Lara Taylor Pierce. Right? She was not doing her job. See what happened to her today. This government don't like people who bend their own way. You cannot be professional under this government. Say, oh, I'm a professional, I have to do my professional duty. It's not working. When Lara pulled the audit report, and she has been pulling audit reports where even during the APC.
And they were clapping.
Very much. They were clapping. They were calling for it. You know? But when you get to the now, where they pull, they say the president goes spend so money at social hotel with some fake receipts. They came down very strong. Look at today. We lose a professional person, a career person, somebody where they act for build economy through own oversight where they provide, because they don't want nobody for tell them the truth. Yeah. Even no police now. In fact, they're quick for change policeman them. When small thing, they are changing the police around.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, they don't get the dumbest IG because they want compensate them. Somebody who cannot even speak a line of clear English paragraph. You know, then compensate them. And then get this other one, where in just take order for say go, they send him and then go catch somebody come. So there are sometimes them police commanders and they blame them
Oh
because
yeah, no,
they
definitely.
are on the chopping block. The moment they say something where the government not satisfied of, in fact, it don't even have to come from the order, not even they have to come from the president. But they come from any top government officers. Then they go to arrest you, then they send you, then lock you up for nothing.
Although I think now most of the thing they're arresting, they'll say, I always see that person speaking to an APC person. I think they're APC. Oh, is it? Oh yeah, you move. That's how they do it. But I think the technical team wants to help us play the video of the lecturer that
Okay.
the chief, and then he was asked like, "Well, your free service we no longer need it." And remember, this is the flagship program of the SLPP.
Yes,
Free quality education. Somebody's giving you free quality education for free, and you did not. So I don't know. I don't know. So it would be nice if the technical team can play us the video for the lecturer, if possible, please.
yeah.
While
For remind them.
yes, that's
You
they
know.
don't care about the people of Sierra Leone. They only care about
But they
themselves.
don't care. We can remind them all we want. All everything they care for security and power at all costs. They don't care. If like all man died today with angriness here alone, nothing will change. They're not even get that mindset say our people are suffering.
Oh no,
They
they
don't
don't.
even care.
No.
You know?
Let me just say good evening to our viewers. We have your Isatokakai. And good evening to you, Mo Bangura, watching all the way from Redding. We have Pados Kuruma says, good talk, thank you so much. Lami Denke says, guys, keep it up. Lami Denke says, it's sad the video you are referring to. That was when I was talking about the young boy that came from the south that was abandoned on the road. And then here again, Robert Kagbo says, the two crew members said they had a mechanical issue. So at the end of the day, that's what they had actually learned. Daniel Kamara says, well, Sierra Leone government officials bring the kush in the country. Again, thank you, Daniel, because some of us know we've seen it. Because even when the thing gets to the country and you find out somebody will tell you like, oh, I can't do nothing. It belongs to that person. What do you expect me to do? I can't do nothing. It's this person's. Like, what do you want me to? And I'm like, but you're supposed to work. I can't. In fact, I did not see. They will move from that particular location. They will move. So they are blind, deaf, and dumb. They don't see any evil. That's how it is. That's as simple as how it is. But it's really, really sad. I think we have about 17 minutes. So let's try to round up because normally it's a 2 hours, but the way it's going, like, we need to see. Yeah, video I'm playing it about people taking. Well, it would be nice because also I think we have a video on issues that we want to share with the people because this is just for educational purposes. Again, as we said, we always like to share things for people to learn from it. There was a lecturer who, like, for example, just asked a student to walk out from a class. None of the fellow students said anything, and they asked them, my action, was it right or wrong? Somebody says it wasn't right. But why did you never protest? You are talking about justice, but when an injustice has happened to somebody, because it does not affect you directly, you don't care. But indirectly will come back to haunt you. So I think we want to play that so that the people of Sierra Leone will wake up. Because one thing of me playing this, I think the people of Sierra Leone are about to wake up. It has always been the UK and the US that has always done protests. We have seen the Belgians, the Dutch are about to do theirs, the Scandinavians are about to do theirs, Australia will be doing theirs, which I will not sleep. 2 a.m. I will be on air to make sure that we cover that protest. So we are asking the people of Sierra Leone to also come out. The Abacha women, the youths, the teachers, you people will call us privately, says, oh, they haven't paid me for 6, 7, 8, 9 months and I'm working. But you don't come out to protest because you said, I am not politics. Even if you are not in politics, the politics is in you. Either you participate actively or inactively, you are part of politics. There is no way we can run away from it. So I think I'll be grateful if the technical team can play us that video so that people can learn. It's not only affecting politicians, but you that you see politician, it will affect you, because if anything is affecting your friend or somebody, you know, it will come back to you. So it's as simple as ABC. So I'll be grateful if the technical team can play that, and after that we can do a roundup and then close the show tonight for the 1 hour. Thank you so much, technical team. If possible.
You there, second desk, blue jacket. What is your name?
Hello, I don't know if we're having technical issues.
You there, second desk, blue jacket. What is your name?
My name is Alexis.
Alexis, please leave my lecture room. I don't want to see you at one of my lectures ever again.
I don't understand.
I am not going to ask a second time. Thank you. Why are there laws? What are laws for? Anyone?
Social order?
To protect the person's personal rights. So that you can rely on the government?
Justice? Thank you. Tell me, was I unfair to your classmate just now? Indeed I was. So, why didn't any of you protest? Why didn't any of you try and stop me? Why didn't you want to prevent this injustice? You see, what you have just learnt, you wouldn't have understood in 1,000 hours of lectures unless you lived it. You didn't say anything because you weren't affected yourself. And this attitude speaks against you and against life. You think it doesn't concern you, so it's none of your business. Well, I'm here to say, if you don't help bring about justice, then one day you too may experience injustice, and there will be nobody there to stand before you. Truth and justice lives through us all, and we must fight for it. Because in life and work, I mean, we often live next to each other, but not with each other. We console ourselves that the problems of others are nothing to do with us, none of our business. And we go home glad at night that we're spared, but it's about standing up for each other. Every day an injustice happens in business, sport, or on the tram. Relying on someone else to take care of it is not good enough. It is our duty to be there for others, to speak up for others when they cannot. I am here to teach you the power of your voice. I want you to learn critical thinking to empower you to stand up for what is right, even if it means going against what everyone else is doing. Let's begin.
Thank you so much. I think Mr. Balia, can you tell us what was your take on that particular video?
My take is very clear. If you stand up against injustice, you stand up against tyranny, not to say because it's not reaching at your doorstep, you never stand up for right. Right? And it was clear in that video that the lecturer, they expect the student then for say, hey, Mr. Lecturer, this is wrong, and question them. But again, you come to we own country, it's a different thing. When you stand up for the right thing, they will come and shoot at you. They don't do them all these 5 years. We see it in McKinney. People demonstrated for the generator. We see fracas happen at Alunshai. They went there and shoot. But the same thing that happened at Kenema and Bo, and they protest, and they argued, and they riot. They never shoot one person there. Up to now, as we are speaking. Very recently, it happened again at Kenema. Nobody was gunned down. But this is what we are telling people in the diaspora. Come out, let's protest. They stole our elections. It is wrong. We have to put a stop to this. And we get a turnout. In the United States, people will not belong to politics. They come out in numbers for help for protest against the injustice that happened in Sierra Leone.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we are going to do another one very soon. And we are planning another one at the United Nations in September. We are bringing out the numbers. People are concerned. We country don't go through a lot. We don't see anything like that continue. And now we get to put a stop to this. This election, like clear, when all people describe it as a daylight robbery. If you're not able to shame the thief man now, when you're able to shame him, Salon, we don't use for a kid thief man, we beat him. But this, we're not able to beat them because they don't get gone. So now come out and shame them at the international community. We put our stories out there. Not that we never get the stories. International observers then get the stories. They get their own results. Then condemn. They know the election was in fear. Then if we allow this to go just like that, we not protest, we not sound with voice, we just accept them as it is normal, it will continue. It's a wrong precedent. Let we not condone wrongness. Let we come out in numbers and condemn the act. Say, this election do matters. For sustained democracy, election for be free and fair. It will reflect the will of the people, but not in this case. Then, if we not put a protest to this, then there is no need for us to get election in the future. Because it's like we compromise this, we accept the wrong, say it right. No, we are calling on people around the world. Let's come out, let's go to our embassies, let me go to congressmen them, we go to senators them, we go to parliamentarians them outside the world and explain to them, we get evidence, the elections results are out there. You don't put out their own results. With other groups and they will get their results when they put them out. It's nothing compared to the results when they announce. Let me condemn it. It is wrong. And when it's wrong, we got to put a stop to it. This is why we are calling on everybody. If you love Sierra Leone, you love democracy, please come out anytime and call you for come out for demonstrate. We not get gun. We not believe in the barrel of the barrel of the gun. We believe for demonstrate and put we case, make we case out there. We got international partners. We got vested interest in Sierra Leone, where they must get action where they will take. You know, but this is not done. We cannot let this go by without lending our voices to it. Any side in the world, Australia, London, Germany, they all come out in numbers. We in the United States, we will continue for them. We are planning one. We know say they are planning to go out next week. We are planning to go out Again, we are coming out in numbers. We are calling on Sierra Leoneans and say this election, then Tifam. It is very clear. It was very clear that they stole it. We see what's happened. The results, the numbers, do not even reflect the numbers of the voters. Then come, they announce the results, whilst the counting may go on. Where they are supposed to project the results at the collation centers, they're not doing. Then go, in fact, that with APC office, then should we, for them not convert in one place when they're ready for read the wrong results. Then disperse everybody from the party office. Then the next day, they put blockade all over. Like say we get military war. No one single person was in our party office. None of us was there.
The party
Then
office.
then we had their own party office. Then they jubilate.
The party office was barricaded for over a week.
I'm telling you.
Assassinate the president-elect. It was barricaded for over a week.
Because they don't want people to go there. For them to go meet and brainstorm. Then close and barricade them completely. You know, that was wrong. Can you imagine? Before they go read the final results, they don't clear the place for those swearing the president. They don't clear the place, they don't organize, and people were sitting there with their Ashobi before they read the final results. This was all made up. This result be done here in pockets.
Oh, yeah.
You know, God, how dare you? You don't prepare for flying ceremony when the result not come out yet.
All the riggings, the plan, we protected each single vote. So they were not able to rig the election. So the only thing they were left with was for them to use what they had in their possession.
Of course.
Even when they call out 60%, as far as we were concerned, that was a 60% from South because there was no issue there. Whilst the North, and including Freetown, were still collating their information.
I'm telling you, yep.
And you'd be like, where did you get that from? Because it hasn't come from us here. Where is it from? Oh, no, it's from there. All of a sudden, you have all the result when it's not true. This is why Connie has refused. And he says, oh, it's not an obligation for him to project the result by centers. And I think there's also another lawyer that came. I think it's, I forgot her name. It's a lady. She says, but it's within the constitution of, in fact, ECSL that you should. It's a mandate.
Yes, it's a mandate. It's part of the electoral laws.
So if you don't do it, it means you haven't done the right thing.
No.
The next thing you are telling us again, oh, you were under gunpoint. Who did you tell that you were going to be under gunpoint?
Nobody.
How is that working? We don't even know. You've cooked what you cooked. And we also saw a video where a gentleman was talking about how they have paid him handsomely to rig the election. And in fact, even though he was under gunpoint, he just did what he was paid to do. So it's literally within the open that everything that happened was staged. It wasn't the people's choice.
No.
It wasn't the will of the people. So,
and funnily, they don't even know how for thief. I remember Tijan Kabal say, if you want for thief, be a clever thief. Right?
But I think their former minister, who again says you can thief 1%, but this one they still, in fact, more than 100% because by the time you 100% again. So they never really seems to amaze people. And they are so shameless, will come again and start defending. And we have this religious leader saying, oh, we need to go for peace. We need to bow. How can you have peace without justice? When this man was bastardizing the Constitution, none of you came out and says it is wrong of your act. It is wrong of X, Y, and Z. All of a sudden, you are talking about peace when he has stolen an election. And you guys are saying, oh, well, people should go for 2 terms. If you have worked, if you did not work, you don't deserve to go for 2 terms.
That's the thing.
It's ABC. So at the end of the day, I really don't know. But I think we need to round up. let me just do a catch up before you come and do your final submission. This evening we've spoken about a video that the former finance minister, Dr. Kefarama, spoke about on the issues on what happened during the APC and why there was hostility within the economy. And again, they decided to make a change to that because at the end of the day, things went bad. The government, including the president, came and says, we have this issue because of X, Y, and Z reason. But at the end of the day, we are going to do this to make sure that everything else work in your favor. He mentioned to us that yes, during the austerity period, teachers were not working for 2 years, they were paid. Under this administration, in fact, you work, you don't get paid. So under the APC, they were working. I mean, they were not working, but they were still paid for 2 consecutive years. They also have provision for youth and women in the country. They open institutions and also have projects that we can still see. For example, the infrastructure on roads, it's visible, even though they were telling us it was cosmetics, but yet still that's what they are using. We have not seen a single cosmetic road from this administration. Again, they came about lying about the electricity within the sub-Sahara, which of course was done under the former president. Again, they will lie. The bridge going towards Bombaley, which is in McCain, like they lied about them constructing it, which of course they don't even know when it started and when it was complete. You were there when it's finished, but you did not construct the road. But again, that's something that we just need to highlight on. We have seen the exchange rate as of 10 years of the APC for 7,000, 6,000 to 7,000, to a 5 years in governance for an exchange rate of 26,000. When it comes to dollar, is about 23, 22, because it's not even much difference between the dollars and the pounds anymore. And with all this, we've seen where one McGee at this stage is 3,000. About a couple of weeks back, it was 3 for 2,000. Now it's 1 for 3,000. Salt has risen so much that you cannot even come and say, let me manage. You cannot manage. People are literally surviving at this stage. Very soon, people will not be burying their debts. They will be eating it because there will be nothing in the country. And we've seen where this administration is prepared to bring more anarchy on the country just because you do not support them. For me, it's a total ripoff. And again, we've seen where within the last 5 years, Mother Bio traveled more than any other president in the history of Sierra Leone. Maybe you can even combine 2 presidents travel together and still his one is bigger than them. But yet still, it's fine. We've seen where they are talking about women empowerment, but when it comes to them, it's about women intimidation. We've seen from the Clara Pierce, we've seen from Yvonne Akesoya. There is also another female I can't mention because at this day it looks like they need to be in psychiatric home. So be it. We've seen where a woman in the South Satalami was raped, gang raped by SLPP thugs. Nothing happens to them. We've seen where, in fact, to the point a child was raped, killed, and nothing came out of it because it was not in their best interest. But yet still, they will still come around and says people should give them a chance. You stole an election. Now the whole world have turned their back against us as a nation, and still you want to stay. I think the people of Sierra Leone, it is time for us to come together and say no. Based on the last video the technical team played for us, we need to stand. It's not because I am not a politician, but it will affect you. Either you are in it or out of it, or by it, standing with it, you will still affect you. Because injustice, it's not just for one person. It comes through to everyone. So I'm appealing to all Sierra Leoneans, lovers of Sierra Leone, patriotic citizens, and friends of Sierra Leone to kindly come to our aid and make sure that what we are going through as a nation at this point should come to an end. Madabio should not be in that seat because he did not win that election. We all know it was rigged and things needs to be changed. So I would like you, Mr. Abubolia, to come in and give your closing remarks so that we can bring this program to an end.
Thank you very much. You don't give a very good closing remarks. I think you touch every area. And waiting we will left for add is to give the Sierra Leone people hope and hope that we can survive this. It is tough, but we are going to survive it. First, let me reach out to the elected officials then. The decision for not going to parliament is a party decision. Dear, let me follow on to the letter. We know it's tough, we understand, but there are times people have to protest for changes. Even in America, also, the people who cross the Selma Bridge in Alabama, they did it because they want freedom for the black. Martin Luther King march, all the black citizens, every city in America, for bring changes. This is our time to bring changes and create that awareness that with a simple march, a simple sacrifice, you can make a difference. You can help to bring changes. People in the diaspora, not say because we're not a politician, they affect me. It's affecting all of us. Because the bag of rice at 800, the bag no get paint to it. You not get APC color, you not get SLPP color. We the ban now for everybody. And people are suffering. They will march and until we can't march no more. They will come out in numbers. They will condemn this act. This government is not good for people in Sierra Leone. They are not doing nothing for help for alleviate the poverty in our country. In fact, they are making it worse. The introduction of Kush just mess up the hope of a young man able to take over later. So there's nothing moving on. The dollar, the fuel prices, the local commodity. I see one video in the lab say about 7 a day. So people are barely surviving. But let we end there, let we get hope. That was what Martin Luther King was telling his followers. Give them hope. Say one day things will change. Let's keep marching. We not believe in the barrel of the barrel of the gun. No, what we use, we feed them, we hands, with voices, they'll come out in numbers at all times. We elected officers them. Be a lot of patient. It is tough. We understand. Some man don't spend in lives for campaign. Now it's not getting salary. Yeah, that's the sacrifice you have to make to bring changes. Let's make it. We are out here. We work hand in hand with the international community for continue for condemn this daylight robbery we're happening as the world not too civilized for the happen. If you work, forget a second time, you deserve to get a second time. We'll again to you. But you cannot get a second time through the barrel of the gun. It's a no. We are going to condemn it. We are going to march, and continue to march. People in Freetown, when they call you to come out, march. You don't need to take stick or stone or gun, go out there. No. Go out with your voice and your placard. Put them up and march. Create awareness. You'll be able to squeeze the government. You'll be able to confuse them. We go continue for march until we can't march no more. This, we don't let them go so. We go voice them out. Even the international media, anytime we get opportunity for go there, if you get thief man and your family, then anytime you go, you the shame them. Anytime you go, you the alapa on thief. To their conscience, you go left for thief. And this is what we are doing. Let me continue for pile the pressure. Let me continue for the raiseful voice. Our voice of reason, our voices of concern have to be out there every day, day in, day out. We not get for stop. We don't need for stop. This is not daylight robbery. Election do matter. If we not stop this now, it will continue. And why people go campaign? Why people go belong to political party? If we not get the results, not get to reflect the will of the people. So we therefore put a stop to this. Let us march, and we don't see the results. We have to squeeze them. We know they cannot run a one-party state. No, the world wants to civilize past that. they'll get pressure from the international community. And what is going on now is a one-party state, because they are even confirming ministers without the APC, because you know, they talk about Mohamed Bangura is a betrayal. No, I don't even mention him. No one get relevancy, you know. But with APC absence in parliament, and you see how God now they manipulate, bring the PR system for dismantle all the small political parties them, where for the even manage for give them some sort of legality. Then when somebody greedy, you want eat all tea, kaput, say you colic, and you're not able for sleep safe. And this is what is going on. Then parties that have been getting 4 seats, 5 seats, they make sure they dismantle them because they want to get big advantage. Now you don't get the advantage, there's nothing you can do with it. You cannot run a single government by yourself. It's a shame on you. You know, so let we keep the pressure, let we keep the momentum from we own part. This is going for how long? It's how long you stay there. When the black people need a march for freedom, they not march 1 2 years and stop. Then continue marching. They march for over 100 years. Finally, they get the freedom what they want. And this is what we should be doing. Let's say play with own part. We want freedom. We want free democracy. We want to live side by side with we neighbors them, with other party people them. Let we live in peace. Let them not intimidate you. Let them not use gun for keep you out. When we get police case, let them keep you fear. Let the judiciary cut case them fairly. Let we get the fear. It's another country. We not get a second country. That's where we belong. So once when we go home, now we live in peace, side by side, with the SLPP neighbors. But now we can't live side by side. The SLPP neighbor will can't offend you when you go police. Now you don't lock up back. We are seeing it every day. With the same. So we want that for stop. So the march is not just for the election. The march is for freedom, it's for democracy, it's for people's livelihood, it's for the economy, for so many things when they go wrong. Even with court cases, they're not go the right way. You know, so many people, like what you mentioned just now, there are so many things that happen. Say that they rape people, that you don't see nobody arrested. But look at the case of Kamaremba. He's still in jail, you know, for something where not even even bigger than half of the things that were SLPP supporters and they do. We see even a by-election when SLPP youths go and broke a box system, electoral boxes. Nobody was arrested.
Minister, and he was promoted.
There was a minister standing there. He was promoted. We see where they take stick, they knock the mayor. Even Akisha, they assault him several times. Nobody was arrested. But if you call SLPP, you not call and fine, they will arrest you and lock you up. We don't see them arrested. There's so many times. So now all that make for march and march and march and continue for march. Because one live in our country. Nobody know for the heaven in our country. Now that we born, now that God puts we get the rights, like how the president said get rights. Let in left freedom we enjoy freedom. And President Koma took him, even when President Koma be near power. He said people go put information we're not comfortable, we're insulting. But as president, you got to accept them. You enemy yourself now, you're the governor. The man on streets, the petite scared now, you're not the president. You got to give them equality, you got to give them safety, you got to give them freedom. But above all, you got to make them able for survival, build the economy, let create jobs, pull them the young man up a kush, wage war against kush. Kush not good, they destroy the economy, they destroy people then. There are so many things that this government for do. When I left infrastructure for because we're not able to do nothing in that. We're not good at that. When I talk about human capital starts with our youth. Refine them, clean them up, then they get hope. Not can introduce cheap drug where they just make them go crazy and just lost the sense of belonging. It is wrong. We for condemn that. That is why we are calling for people to march and march. Even the push guy that will come out and march. We can do better than that. Some are free. I've been apprentice. Go back to your small job. Go to your small farming plantation. Go back to your hustling field. Go back to your car wash. Build up for yourself. Forget about this push. Because the government, according to we report out that then they intensify them. They want them on the ban, them on the smoker, and get courage for even stand and say something sensible to them. So then they get away with that. Then love for divide and rule. So I'm calling every Sierra Leone, which are in the world, let us come out and march, let us demonstrate. The black people march in America for freedom. And make some of free Sierra Leone today. We talk, we even criticize the president. We get the benefits, the social benefits that the government provide for all of us. We want Salone for being the shining city of the hill, a home, a paradise of hope, where people go there, come out and say, oh, sweet Salone, and gladly for they go home, a 2-3 time, and even one for return home. But now, how are you going to return? I mean, only less than 30% of people get real jobs. That able balance itself for take care of the balance 60 or 70% will not get job. It is tough, and that is why we have to match. When people they campaign for election, they campaign for candidates, and not for can do worse. Now we are seeing worse. So we got to match and show them where anything will come out and they shoot at free. Now come out. They were shooting at people, black people here, but they were out there until the law come out, it changed. The camera is on us. If you accept this situation, then you don't accept failure in your life. No, failure should not be an option. Salone is a good country. They will continue for Mecca. But this government is not good for the Salone people. That will make them know that. So if I reach here, I thank you very much. And for this opportunity, I hope anytime you get opportunity, you can get me on, because we want pull on our chest. Iboku.
Thank you so much. Definitely. Today we have it on the economy, and we'll find another topic that will bring you back in. But I want to say thank you so much. That was the president of the Washington chapter. That's Mr. Abubakar Kuruma, aka Abu Boliai. So again, as we've said, it's regarding the economy and also the way the SLPP have done their way or their governance within our country, and we know it is not good for the people of Sierra Leone. We are asking on the international community to come to the aid of Sierra Leoneans. We also saw the observers that were there that says the election, especially when the voting, everything went according, but when it comes to the tallying, because they have the result, because everybody has representative of each polling station, so they had the result, and what came out does not reflect what has happened during the election. So definitely we are still calling on international community to come to our aid, and then so that we'll be able to do justice to our people. Kindly appealing to people in Australia, please, Sydney, tonight you guys are having your protest for 4 p.m., which is going to be 2 a.m. here. So I'll also be on that. And then on the 14th in Holland, there's also going to be another election. Another protest. So definitely appealing to people from the UK, those that are within Scandinavia, even though Scandinavians will have theirs 3 days later. But if we can all come together, the Belgians to come. So we are asking everybody to go to that the Hague one in Holland. It will be very, very good for us to be there. And also the UK are planning again another protest, but I think that's going to be either during or just the opening of Parliament here, because we know the last one was did in a rush because Parliament was closing. So definitely we are asking people to come on board again to do one or two things. But at the end of the day, we want to say thank you so much. This is the APC Diaspora Online TV platform. This is the flagship program of this particular program. Every Sunday, myself or either Comrade Mixer, Fatia, Owan Kasu, who is our coordinator. I want to say thank you to the technical team, who is Mo Bangura, Dr. Denke, JS Momo, Delwyn Thomas, and also want to say thank you to all the presenters, which are Maria to Sisei, Ahmed Bangura, Mufti, and then we also have Igalo all the way from Sweden. I will have Andrew welcome on board, and we are asking each chapter, if possible, to contact the technical team so that we'll be able to have your own program hosted by yourself, and then we'll be able to share the platform, because this has become the mouthpiece of the diaspora on behalf of the APC. And want to say thank you so much to our members of parliament, councillors, mayors, and also chief that have decided not to take part in this particular elections, in this particular administration, based on things that they've done. And as we know, a PR system, proportional representation, is the party. If the party said no, whoever comes out of the party says you are not doing the party, you are doing yourself. So again, APC is not in governance. APC is not taking part in anything that has to do with this administration, and it remains like that until the right thing has been done. I want to say thank you so much to everyone, and I want to say good evening and God bless. Cha cha.